Hey everybody, good afternoon. I hope you're all doing amazing. So, today we are going to talk about violence against women with our amazing trauma survivor coach, Caroline Brunne. All right, let me introduce myself. I am women's health and just going to accept Caroline. So, I am women's health and wellness movement coach and nutrition counselor, as well as founder of this platform. I'm just going to accept. While I'm waiting, I'm going to read out, just trying to get Caroline online. Hi, Caroline, how are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you for your time. And most of us aware that how amazing you are on this topic, what we are going to talk about, and you have been voice for all of us for a very long time. And we truly appreciate that you are here today.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, thank you, Sally, for being here. If you can hear us, give us a thumbs up, and we move forward with Caroline's bio. All right, so Caroline is a trauma survivor coach, breathwork facilitator, author, professional speaker, and founder of INS support or IN
In
support.
support.
In support. Okay, thank you. In support community, alongside Louie, oh, gorgeous dog, puppy, her certified therapy dog. She offers a unique blend of support through her Gold Coast Breathwork studio and workplace wellness programs, combining breathwork and animal-assisted therapy to create spaces of safety and regulation. Drawing from her lived experience of incest, child sexual abuse, and family violence, Caroline has transformed trauma into purpose. She now guides survivors and supporters to walk beside one another in healing and helps survivors reclaim their voices, releasing the shame that has silenced them. Thank you. It already gets me. It already making me already. But anyway, so yeah, thank you so much again. I cannot stop saying thank you because it means so much to community like ourselves and myself, especially because it has been a huge impact what you have brought in my life. So, all right. So before we start, I just wanted to say the little bit of the disclaimer side. So this live is all about to bring awareness and shine a little bit of light around the violence against women, or saying that there is a violence against men as well, but at the moment we are talking about, yeah, particular about the women. And yes, and if you need a support, you can directly connect with Caroline, or there are amazing other services that supports, they provide supports towards survivors. And you know talk to your healthcare practitioner if you need to, right? And yeah, please do. You are not alone, and we're all in this together, right? And Caroline, would you like to add anything before we start?
No, I think that's a really good point. I think this community is really broad, and there are a range of different styles of health professionals and well-being practitioners in this space. But I think, as you said, like we're not alone, and that's the most important part. It doesn't matter who the person is that you choose to speak to first. If it is the person that you get your oils from, if it's the person that does your Reiki, if it's your GP, if it is, whoever it is, it doesn't need to be a therapist or a psychologist. If you feel that you trust someone and you have a connection with them and you feel that they are a safe person that you can lean into and have that conversation, then make the most of that. Because that bond and that trust is really important, and it's a really good opportunity to kind of lean into that. And this network is incredible. So it doesn't matter, I guess, to the practitioners that are listening or watching this after. Just remember that if you have a connection with someone, they may choose to share with you, and it doesn't matter if that's not your area of specialty. But you know, they've opened that door, so it's an opportunity to make space for that.
Yeah, and I think because we are so cautious about who do we share with,
Hmm.
unless we really feel comfortable, right?
Mm.
So, yeah, I think so. If we share with somebody, we are very specific.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Yes.
And I think it's a real honor. Like it's really humbling and a real honor if someone chooses that you're the person that they
Mm,
trust enough, and they feel that you're safe enough to share with. So, even if you feel a bit overwhelmed, if someone does
yes.
share something difficult with you, don't underestimate how much that person has decided, you know, how big that decision is. It's a really
Yeah.
important moment. Yeah.
Yes. So, all right, let's start. You support women as a trauma survivor coach, but you also have your own lived experience.
Mm.
What part of your healing journey inspired you to step into this to become a coach?
There's probably a few elements of this. There were definitely points in my life where I wanted to see some change in my immediate family, and I wanted to kind of be the cycle breaker that I could see
Mm-hmm.
needed to happen. Um, but then fast forward into the work that I'm doing now, it became really clear how many trauma survivors there are, just in all different aspects of what a trauma survivor can be. Um, I have lived experience of sexual and domestic and family violence, so I cover both of those topics as such in my own lived experience. But what I found in speaking to people or having people approach me after I'd spoken at an event or shared something is that there are many of us, and so we all need different things at different points in our life and different points in our healing. So I wanted to be able to support people, but at a particular point in that journey.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional kind of counseling, therapy, or psychology wasn't the path that I wanted to go down, and it may be one day. Like I don't know where
Mm-hmm.
my continued skills and learning will take me, but at the stage that I was over the last few years, coaching seemed like it was going to be the best route for me.
Okay.
It utilized my skills in business and all of the other things that I had done over the years, and also gave me some distance and space as well. Um, I don't work with people that I class as being in an active state of trauma, so
Mm,
they are still in their abusive situation, or they're still experiencing significant health or mental health concerns due to the trauma they've been subjected to. I do have people approach me that are in that state, and I can see pretty clearly that that's where they are.
mm,
It's not I don't have the skills or the expertise to support them in a safe way that would honor what they need.
mm,
So I then refer them to people that I think are better suited to support them at that stage, knowing that they can come back to me when they're in a different state in that journey. So I think safety, and I mentioned safety even before when we started,
yes.
forms such an important part of the process because unfortunately there are people out there that try to be everything to everyone, and they try to do all the
Mm,
things, and it does put people at risk. So I always make sure that I lean into that safety and also honor my own boundaries and the things that I need to support myself, because when you do this work with lived experience, there's a lot of
mm.
other things you have to have in place to make sure that you're safe as well.
Yes, so I really admire you that, you have that boundaries that, and,
Mm.
you guide them towards the where they will be safer
Yeah.
instead of, oh, I can do it, everything. So when I was doing fitness with the mothers,
Hmm.
sometimes they would be crying and then I would sit down with them for 2 hours. But I felt so helpless that I couldn't I didn't know the better way to support them, but I
Yeah.
just sat next to them. But I didn't, at that time, I didn't even know to tell them that you might need a
Mm.
support, extra
Yeah.
other support, you know. But anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, Caroline got hello. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for that. So, all right. Many women carry wounds that are invisible, right, from both of your personal journey and the women you support.
Mm.
What are some lesser known emotional or physical effects of violence that we should be talking about more often?
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things about violence against women, or women and children, is the coercive control and the more silent types of abuse that people don't see. There's a
Mm,
lot of control that happens, coercive control that happens in either situation, be it sexual violence or domestic and family violence, and it can really erode your mental health and your sense of self, your confidence, can take you away from your loved ones. And so, what we see when we look at some of the people that have been subjected to that type of abuse is that there's a lot that is taken from them, and it happens over time. It's like these
mhm,
little kind of chipping away at someone and slowly isolating them and slowly removing them.
mm,
But when we see people that have either experienced something that is more in that camp of coercive control, or maybe have experienced different types of abuse, the sense of self and confidence and really knowing yourself is, and it is, I think, the thing that you lose that takes the longest to come back. Um,
mm,
it when someone has when you've had an experience where someone has taken something so personal,
mm,
and violated either your body or your safety in a way that is actually physically in you and with you, to find that footing and that grounding again is really difficult. And then it shows itself in lots of other ways. So it may show itself in your confidence, it may show itself in your health, even the way that you advocate for yourself in other areas of your life. It may show itself in like you not, going for that promotion at work, or
mm,
speaking up, or doing that activity or that hobby that you've always wanted to do, but you don't feel confident enough to do it. It can show up in lots of different ways. And so keeping an eye on those kind of things, if you are working through that healing as well, and getting that additional support. Now, that's obviously why I work in the space of coaching, because it does support people in those areas, who are ready to kind of start making other changes in their lives that sit around other areas of their life, not just the trauma or abuse that they have been subjected to. But yeah, there's a lot that can happen, and that's just one example of a, I guess, symptom of abuse and trauma that we see, is that sense of self, that sense of confidence, and
mm.
how long it does often take to come back. And even then, it might come back in one area of your life and then not be ready in another area. Like it,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
It's a
And
very complex thing.
yeah, it's like, with me, it keeps repeating, but and it's less triggering every time.
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
in past, it would take me months to get over it, but
Hmm.
it turned into weeks, and now it turned
Yep.
into maybe one day
Yep.
or a couple of minutes. And now I just start doing swimming, right,
Mm,
in a public swimming pool, and there is predominantly male swimming. And
mm.
as soon as someone hops onto my next line, and I'm
Yep, you
like that,
feel it. Your
right?
body,
Yes,
your body
and
remembers. Yeah.
yes, and so I literally, I don't know if people can hear me, I am repeating, you are safe, you're okay, and I'm swimming away.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say that lifeguards are coming around all the time to check on you, and
Yeah.
you are okay, you're in safe space. I have to constantly say that, and try to, if I feel that way, I go on my back and I start deep breathing,
Yeah.
and then just and yeah, it's those kind of practices, understanding the cycle
Yeah.
and then be able to calm yourself down.
Mm.
And yes, it has been big journey. Like you said, it's, yeah, it shows up in so many different ways. Some
Yeah.
days I feel amazing and confident in the same area, and the next time it's like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah.
As if you are gone back to that tiny little box again, you
Mm,
know?
mm.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's very complex, and I think, as you said, just taking every day as it comes, because you don't know how it's going to be on that
Mm.
particular day. So you've just got to work with what you've got at that point in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be kind to yourself, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so violence disconnects many women from their bodies.
Hmm.
Can you share how your breathwork practice helped you reconnect and how it now supports other survivors and their healing path?
So one of the things that I really love about breath work is that it's something that we can have and take with us wherever we are. Like you just
Mm,
gave us a perfect example of how using your breath can really help to regulate the body and the mind and
mm,
reconnect us. And even something as simple as like identifying that you're feeling stressed, it's showing up in your body. So you change your swimming style and focus on your deep breathing. That conscious breathing is just this beautiful superpower that we all carry with us. And sometimes we just need to tap into it and learn how to use it. So in
mm,
my case, breathwork can be used in lots of different ways. And I was fortunate enough to work with some incredible practitioners who were able to support me through breathwork that was supported trauma release and really got a lot of things that felt really stuck to help that come out, which is incredible that you can just use your breath and then have
mm,
these beautiful experiences and these big experiences. But what I really love about the work that I do is that I have the opportunity to just teach people some really simple mechanisms to
mm,
help to connect back to themselves. I think often as trauma survivors and those of us who have experienced some form of violence or abuse, is we've often been, in most cases, we've been caught off guard. So, something's happened unexpectedly or something has escalated and then it's happened in a particular way. And so it puts our bodies in a state where we can feel short of breath, we can feel
mm,
frozen, so when we can then teach ourselves that we can breathe and get ourselves back into a rest and digest is what they call it, state where your body is slowing down and ready to process what it needs to process. It's a beautiful state that our nervous
mm,
system can be in. So the fact that we can do that with some breaths is amazing. It also, I love breath work because it's also something that is active. So I personally always struggled a lot with meditation, especially visualization style meditation. I'm a lot better
mm,
at it now, but when it was, imagine this and picture this in your mind, and I would always drift off, or my brain would just trick me, and I would go back to really negative, distressing thoughts.
mm,
So having something to concentrate on, like the breath, gives me something to do. And so I can either count the breath or I can feel how it's feeling in my body. And there's not really much else I can think about at the time. So it's a really active way of connecting back
mm,
to the body and taking control, which is an interesting way of looking at it. But when we have experienced trauma and abuse, we've lost, someone's taken that control away from us. It's been taken. And so when we breathe consciously, we remind ourselves that we can control that. And it's a really beautiful, powerful way of coming back to yourself.
mm. There's so many things you just gave us to unpack. It's like, so when we feel, so how, for some people, they might not even know how do you feel when you're stressed,
Mm,
and you said you just mentioned that short of breath.
yep,
And with me, sometimes I'm just doom scrolling
yep,
sometimes because I want to distract myself.
yep.
And it's like, and you know, I want to do this, I want to do that, and all those kind of things. And I realize, oh, actually, I am trying to avoid that feeling.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm doing 101 thing, trying to,
Yep.
so yeah, realizing that and just
Yep.
going, trying to go back to my breathing. And I love how you said that it's active. So
Yeah.
it's not sitting there and thinking, because it's like when I'm doing swimming as well.
Mm.
When I try not to think negative or the old patterns, it is difficult.
Yeah, it's almost like trying not to think about it makes you think about it, so therefore you
Yes,
think
and
about
it's
it.
like a vicious cycle.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm trying to avoid those male people who ever jumped in the pool, but then, oh, do you want to look at it? Just in case,
Mm,
And then for a couple of minutes I would be okay, but then the breathing seems to be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's really,
amazing.
really conscious from that perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So, was there a moment in your healing where you realized you were not alone or that healing was actually possible? What helped you to reach that turning point?
I think there was a part of me that always knew that there were other people out there and that there were other examples of what healing looked like.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because I felt my story was complex and unique, which
Mm-hmm.
it is in the sense that everyone's story is unique to them. But for a really long time, I thought I was the only one that had a story just like mine. And
Mm.
interestingly, when I was early in the process of writing my memoir, I came across this woman. I was just doing research and I came across a woman that was based in the US, and she had an interview that I watched, and when I then researched her, I realized her story was really similar to mine. And I
Mm.
hadn't quite ever heard someone share in a way that used words that I was like, that's exactly how I would say it and how I
Mm.
feel and whatever else. And I realized that that's just the power of storytelling and sharing. And that's a really important part of healing. And it really encouraged me to then go on to write my book and to do the work that I do and the speaking and all of the things. And that's why, people often see the work that I do and think, oh, they'll ask me, like, how do you do that? How do you get on stage and talk about some of the hardest things that have
Mm.
happened to you? Or how do you write about that or do these interviews or whatever? And like, it's not fun. I don't do it because it's fun. I do it because like I've got plenty of fun things I could be doing with my time.
Yeah.
It is nice that I do often now with my dog because that makes it a little bit more fun. But
Yeah.
yeah,
What doesn't he make fun,
he
right?
makes the best. He's just the best.
Everyone's,
But
oh.
exactly. But yeah, when people like, why? The reason why is because I know that there is someone out there who has never heard of me before, who's never heard my story, who
Mm.
needs to hear something like a sentence or a word or a part. Like it's not about me; it's about them.
Mhm.
Similar to when I heard this woman's story, and I finally felt like someone understood. And I've had so many incredible people over the years tell
Mhm.
me that my words are words that they now use to explain to people how they feel. And that healing is incredible. So it's this community, this survivor community is so much bigger than you realize. And there's someone out there that has almost a mirror to how you feel. And it's not to say that their story is bigger or better or whatever or more important. It's just that sometimes we don't have the words to explain how we feel. And if someone else has found those words, it just makes it a little bit easier.
Mm. Just to find yeah, when you find the word, it's easier to process as well, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And then you can pick the pieces that work for you. So
Mm-hmm.
some people, like I use the word survivor. I use it in my
Mm-hmm.
title. I use it quite a lot. I was at an event yesterday, and the woman that was sharing, she said that um, instead of being a victim to villain,
Mm-hmm.
she's now victim to victor. And I'm like, Victor, I love that. Like that's a like
Mm,
it's she didn't use the word survivor at all.
mm,
And so again, reframing that, and that language is going to be exactly what someone needs to hear, and it's going to
yeah.
resonate for them in a way that maybe the word survivor doesn't. So language is really important, and when we share it, we empower others to kind of find that the right language for them.
Yeah, just that word, it just makes you so feel so
Mm,
empowered.
yeah,
And for
definitely.
me, when we first start doing live, and when you said that phrase of when you go silence and
Mm,
you are giving power to perpetrator.
yeah,
When you
yeah,
said that, and every time when I want to stop talking about it, and no, not another person is going to go silence and go through this
yeah.
again in, and because my very close family member went through this, going through this again,
Hmm.
and that is very hard for me to see that.
Yeah,
And at the moment, I'm just trying to figure it out how can I be there for her,
yeah.
but at the same time, she's not that in space to, like
She's
you
not ready
said,
yet.
yes, yes. So she's still in that mode of blaming and all those things. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be in that, but I think we all should go through that stage, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's a
So
whole process. Mm,
but yeah, so yeah, so words are powerful, and just being beside her at the moment is what I can do. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and yeah, and that's why you have changed my life, and I try to speak up as much as I can and share my stories to empower others as well.
Yeah.
But you are always talking in my mind, like Caroline said this,
What would
so you,
Caroline do?
yeah, what would Caroline do? Yeah. So, all right, we will take one more question and then we'll see. Okay. So,
Okay.
shame can be biggest barriers for survivors.
Yeah.
From your lived experience, what helped you break the silence, and what would you say to a woman who feels too ashamed to speak up?
I know when I say this that it seems easy to say it because I'm in a place where I'm doing okay.
Mm,
But the shame isn't yours. Like, it's not yours. It doesn't belong to you. There was never a point where you did anything wrong. There was
mm,
never a point where you needed to claim it, own it, have it. It never
mm,
belonged to you. And shame, even when we think about shame and we think about how it exists, like it exists in theory, like when we've done something wrong or when society thinks that we've done something wrong. And I find it fascinating that victim survivors are often riddled with shame because our
mm,
world is so complex, and especially when it comes to women, it shames us for so many different things, because of the patriarchy and the way the society that we live in. But when you can start reframing that shame and remembering and deciding that it's not yours and that you're not going to let that control you anymore, that's when things start to change. So, again, I say all of that and know that that is easier said than done. I'm
mm,
not implying that that concept of like putting shame where it belongs or getting rid of it or whatever, like any other big emotion, is easy, but it
mm,
is an important part of the process.
mm,
And just know that it isn't yours. It doesn't belong to you. Like, you have nothing to be ashamed of. And it is essentially a tool that's used by perpetrators, but also by society to keep us silent. Um,
mm,
and to keep us small, and to mean that we don't fight for what we want and fight for what we need. And that's the really troubling part about shame, is that it silences people. So
mm. Yeah,
um
with my family, they told me to stay silent because that was the only way to keep me safe and be able to find future husband, right?
because you would bring shame on yourself and your family if that was
Yes.
true. Yeah,
And then
exactly.
no one want to marry who has been touched,
Yep.
who is impure, and as soon as
Mm.
someone touches you, you are broken.
Yep.
So, and in that sense, so I had to stay silent.
Yeah.
And but that is what they were taught all their life as well.
Exactly.
So
It's a cultural thing, and I think that's such a really like a really great example in the sense that all of that responsibility gets put on you.
mm,
Like no one else takes responsibility for that. Like not the person, not the perpetrator, like obviously not the people telling you this thing. Like that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of shame to put on one person that hasn't actually done anything
mm,
wrong. So I think even when we think about shame and how weighted it is, on top of the fact that we feel like in our bodies, we feel disgusting or violated or like the physical feelings post some form of abuse are horrible feelings to carry in your body, in addition to the heaviness and the weight of shame and expectation from
mm,
family, from society, from whoever else. So it's hence why I said before, I say these words, but I do respect the fact that what I'm saying for people to do isn't easy for people to do,
mm.
and it does take work. So,
Yes,
yeah.
I think I am in my process of I am better these
Mm,
days, but still comes that cycle, but I'm
mm,
getting better at regulating it and the breaking that cycle.
yeah.
But like we all have to go through that cycle of, understanding why we were blamed and shamed, and it is all about, it's coming from the whole society
Yeah.
and everything else. It's not just a, yeah, so it's when we understand that, I learned to be more empathetic towards the
Yeah.
people who said that to
Yeah.
me,
Yep.
and learn to forgive,
Mm,
and not, because if you don't know any better, you don't know any better,
mm, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
And
that's
but
exactly
what we
right.
can do best is now speaking openly like this, and breaking the cycle, bringing the awareness, shining light in this topic. So hopefully this will get less, these kind of things becomes less, and giving women the power to speak up as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm,
definitely. Very much
yes.
so.
So if anyone has any question, please put it in the comment section for Caroline. And but if you would like it to send a message in private, Caroline is available. Is that
Yes,
right? Private.
yes, yeah. Send me a
Caroline?
message if there's anything that you want to know about. It's an interesting time of the year as well. We're currently in the 16 days of activism, which is 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. So it's an important time of the year right across the world. On this topic. So if there's something that you need support with, if there's resources you're not really sure where to look or whatever else, definitely reach out. I have a lot of places I can point you in the right direction. If you're watching this after and you leave a comment, Andrew, I will obviously reply as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always around, always online, available for people if they need.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. So where can people find you, Caroline?
Instagram's probably my most active platform. So Caroline underscore Bruni, Brunne. On my website, you'll find like my coaching and breathwork. I have a breathwork studio here on the Gold Coast, where in Nerang, so where we hold classes there. And then I have online breathwork as well. So come January, there'll be 2 online breathworks a week and then 2 in-person sessions a week.
Mhm.
So the schedule will be increasing from January, which is very exciting.
Amazing. And we don't want to forget Louie.
We don't want
Everyone,
to
we
forget
have to
Louie.
say,
No one ever
Louie will
forgets
be
Louie.
there.
Louie will be there. Louie's there in the studio. He is a certified therapy dog for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about. If you look at my Instagram, you'll find Louie very quickly. He's all over it. If you come to Angie's events, Louie is often on stage with me when I'm the MC for the events. Yeah, he is the star of the show. I understand that I am his sidekick, and that's okay.
That's okay.
He's very special. He's a beautiful dog. I've trained him to support trauma survivors,
Mm.
and just be an all-round great therapy dog. But yeah, he's just been certified again. We have to do his certification every year, so
Okay.
we've just received his certification for this coming 12 months, and so he passed all his
Amazing.
tests. So
Congratulations, Louie
congratulations, Louie. I'll have to give him some more treats or
and
something tonight.
Caroline.
Yeah, yeah, like I don't have
Your
to do all the
sidekick.
work. All the work. But yeah, no. So if anyone wants to learn more about breathwork, please reach out. And if you haven't connected with us at breathwork before, let me know when you can come and do your first class for free.
Amazing. Thank you,
Amazing.
everyone, for being here. Thank you, Caroline. And we are so, so grateful that you have been such a powerhouse for all of us, people who are always doubting ourselves, blaming ourselves, shaming ourselves,
Thank
and,
you.
and being able to even try to think that one day we can, you know, be coming out as a survivors.
Yeah,
Some days you don't feel like you have the way out,
yeah,
but
yeah,
there is a way out. And look at Caroline and myself,
yeah.
and we are still going through a process, but at the same time, we want to bring the difference, make a difference, and be the voice, and yeah, do better each day, right?
Exactly.
And
That's all we can do,
yes,
just one day at a time. So, yeah,
absolutely. Thank you, my friend.
wonderful.
Thank you so much for being here. I
Thank
truly
you.
admire you, appreciate you, and thank you everyone for being here. You have an amazing day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.